Prime Minister, very good to have you with us and a pleasure to have you on the show. By the time viewers watch this, it would have been almost exactly 2 months to the day that you assumed power. Since then, it's been quite apparent that there is more stability in Thailand. We flew in Suvarnabhumi, it was fine, no problem. Streets are much quieter. Government House, where we are now, is a lot calmer as well. You have a new government led by yourself. The cabinet positions, much more technocrats included. Foreign investors like that a lot. But the big question that they're still left wondering is, and bluntly I have to ask, are you really in charge? Because there are perceptions that you owe, for example, the military, the invisible hand of the power brokers behind this. You owe the opposition because key factions switched to allow you to gain the majority. And this is important because people are left wondering, especially foreign investors, the policies you come up with. And are they the right policies?
Well, I think the first thing is that you're right. Stability is the first thing we have to aim at, without which obviously nothing can proceed and we can't make any progress. And over the last month and a half or 2 months, I think we have made great progress, helped particularly by the by-election results in early January. So if you're talking about debts, I owe most to the electorate for voting in a sense of confidence in the government and sending a very strong signal that the Thai people want the country to move ahead, to move beyond all the divisions and conflict that we've seen last year. The policies, there are a number of issues, and then people will forever debate about whether they're the right policies. I think all the governments are now facing that. But they are definitely ours. Okay. Am I getting things done? Well, I think I set clear agenda right at the start. Apart from achieving greater political stability, I mentioned two things. The first is that we have to move very swiftly with the economic stimulus package. And second, we have to carry out our commitments as chair of ASEAN. Well, the last month we've pushed through the economic package, approval by the cabinet, and more significantly, now the mid-year budget has passed the lower house, expected to pass the Senate next week. And also all the agreements concerning ASEAN have also been approved by a joint sitting of Parliament. So, we've set our agenda, we're on target, we've achieved what we set out to do in the first couple of months.
Let's talk about the economy, because saving the economy, a lot of outside observers believe is your job number one. This will make or break your administration. If growth goes below or sinks to 1%, that could be it. This is what I'm hearing at least. But the problem is, this is a global crisis. 65% of Thailand's economy is exports. How much can you really do?
I think there is a fairly good understanding among the Thai people. They know that this problem is a direct result of the financial crisis that has happened elsewhere. So in that sense, I think they are willing to assess the government's performance with that in mind. Obviously, they know that the export sector and the tourism sector had been badly hit. And we see the numbers in the last quarter of last year, and it's clear that there's been a strong contraction in those sectors, which meant, of course, that GDP for the last quarter of last year is around -3%.
Is it going to be negative first quarter this year as well?
I believe that there's a very good chance that in the first quarter you will continue to see that effect.
And Thailand will technically be in recession then?
That's right.
Okay.
That is why we have to move very swiftly with the stimulus package, in the hope that the money gets dispersed from March onwards, so that we begin to turn things around from the second quarter onwards. I think people understand that. So in a sense, they are more understanding of the problems, that it's not exactly something that we can totally control. But having said that, there is a lot that we can do domestically, of course, in terms of keeping up demand, and also playing our role as far as the international economic order is concerned. And I've been active, not just pushing through all the packages here, but also doing my bit abroad.
You've been here before. When the last Democratic administration was in power, Kun Chun, in 01, you also inherited a pretty awful economy. On top of that, now you've got the chaos. There's a little bit of irony here, because the Democrats lost those elections to former Prime Minister Thaksin's populist policies, but now you appear to be doing something very, very similar. Pump priming, fiscal spending, handing out money, $58 US to each deserving individual.
This is just a very old style Keynesian policy, which everybody is doing. I don't know of any country that is not pursuing this line. I don't know of any school of thought that says that we could be doing otherwise. All governments now need to pour public money in to make sure there's job creation, to make sure that demand is kept up. Now obviously there are differences in the detail as to how that money is spent, and our target is clear. We want the money out as quickly as possible with as little leakage as possible, and also aimed at the most deserving people. So that's what we're doing. I don't see it in terms of populism at all.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back on CNBC Conversation.
It's important to recognize that a lot of developing and emerging economies, through no fault of their own, are now being affected rather badly, especially those very